emphasis are gonna be put on the specific questions that have been raised. Like, you know, what's the time frame for building this thing? Is the police department gonna make a little extra patrol there on a regular basis? What are we doing to keep people from hurt? And then, you know, what's the organization in terms of security behind the evening? You know, I think that, you know, if we're gonna go forward with this, we don't wanna create a disaster in the process. And I certainly don't wanna be responsible for authorizing something that turns out to be ill-conceived and someone gets hurt. Abby.
No, I have a question concerning the town's liability in the event that, you know, for example, if several days prior to the bonfire, some kid gets injured trying to climb or something like that. Are we covered? Is the liability issue?
Yeah. Mr. Belconis.
The town is typically covered in an instance where it's allowed or permitted a use to take place on public property. So the town would in fact have coverage, and those individuals who are representing the town would have coverage, including any volunteers, so that if there were an issue, so long as they were operating within the scope of the permit granted by the board and the fire department, they would in fact be covered. It's not to say that there couldn't be a suit, though, but there would be coverage.
Okay. No further comment? All
Read us the form.
What? Yes, you're recognized.
Recreation Committee, former member of the 4th of July, just to give they're gonna either need permission to do it or not, because today being December 1st, they wanna do it in 30 days. If you want recreation through Marty to meet with Mr. Belconis and make sure if you can vote to say it's okay to do it, as long as Mr. Belconis says okay. If it waits another week or two, it's gonna be a failure, because you're not gonna get a chance to advertise.
No, that's not, I think our intent was to approve the fire department issuing the permit. What we'd like is to get some feedback associated with, you know, what you're doing to make sure this is a safe and happy event.
Well, one of the things we had to do with the 4th, and I hate to put all the pressure on you, Mark, but on the 4th, when we did build the bonfire, as committee members, we kind of slept around the clock. Somebody was there in our car to make sure at night, 3 days while they built it, no kids went around there. It's not going to stop them from going during the day, because we didn't do that, but we did. That was kind of our responsibility as members to make sure that we were available for 3 nights to, you know, be available if the kids didn't start.
Well, I'm expecting some kind of a plan, you know, of what's being done to minimize the potential for an accident and for, you know, the town being in a libel suit, someone getting hurt.
Let's minimize the mischief.
Yeah. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous.
So the three things that you need, Mr. Chair, is timing of the wood, when do we plan on actually stacking the wood?
Right, and then what security, what steps you're going to take to prevent vandalism during that period of time.
Yeah.
Right. Which means essentially someone getting in there and getting hurt.
Yeah.
And then two is we'd like to have, you know, a picture of how you're going to maintain, you know, security, and that's a matter of working with the police and the fire and your crew as to how all that's going to work. You know, if you go back to the 4th of July affairs, those seem to be quite well organized. So there's people in town that have done this, and you know, if we get some help and some advice from them associated with you know, what steps ought to be taken. Now maybe it's a smaller crowd, but you know, we still need to maintain some form of control over the crowd. New Year's, you know, a lot of people are out drinking early. They may end up at the park, and you know, that could be a problem. And then obviously the issue of you know, building stacking and securing the bonfire for the actual event.
So I have three things that I need to get back to you on, and back to Greg.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Mark.
Best of luck with your efforts. Yeah. It'll be great. I like a good bonfire.
It doesn't rain.
Yeah.
Okay, Barbara, you want to? We got a document to sign, and Barbara's got a
Still think we
witness.
should burn the
you, I
Christmas
think.
tree, Joe.
agree with you.
Okay, it's just one signature from the board.
I think it's just Bob who has to sign it, actually.
Just Bob
I
signs
think
it?
it's just Bob. Yep. I'm sorry. I thought I said it earlier. Sorry.
At the appropriate time. I don't know when that's going to be, but it'll just feel right, you know? Just feel right.
Gonna take a 5-minute break while Mike sets up and get started, the format we're going to use tonight is the FAC is making a presentation in the form of some recommendations and a status report to the board. In terms of each one of the proposals that they're going to be making, we will, at the end of that portion of the presentation, the board will ask questions of the FAC if there are any. Department heads involved with any of the recommendations then will be invited to ask questions or answer questions. And after we get through with that, then we'll allow the public to ask some questions associated with the specific recommendation. Okay? So, Mike, you want to get started?
I will. I'm just going to kick it off, but
One other thing, anybody that's going to get up to make ask a question to the podium and to the mic so that people on the outside watching can hear. And board members, a couple of people grabbed me the other day and said that sometimes when we're talking away from the microphones and they can't hear us on the TV. So. Okay, Michael.
thank you. Yes, I just want to set the stage for what we're going to go through for this evening. We have 5 different things we want to talk about, but really we're going to focus in on 3 of the 5. We have 2 others that we're going to bring up just to make you aware of. One of them, I'm going to give you some read-ahead information, and then we'd like to get on the agenda for your next meeting to present on it. So the first thing we're going to present, Mr. Al Wolpin is going to stand up and he's going to present on the our research, or the research he has done on the fire department overtime. And then we're going to he's going to just touch upon the capital improvement plan that he had looked into, and there's really nothing on that. I'll give you a handout on that, but he's going to just talk to that real quick. If that takes 3 minutes, I would be surprised. We're going to ask Mr. Delaney to come up and give you his final facts on the GIC. And again, I have a handout on that, but no presentation. And then after that, we're going to do the police and fire dispatch presentation, which Al again will stand up, and he's done a lot of the work on these, so he'll get up and give that presentation as well. And then the last one's going to be just a handout, like I said. It's a benchmark review on the fire department. And Mr. Laria, Joe Laria, my fact member, he couldn't be here today, so we'd asked that I give it to you as a read ahead, and I would like to get on the agenda for the next meeting. Okay? So if you don't have any questions, we'll get right into it. Okay. Al?
Good evening.
Alan, would you give your name and address? We have a new secretary.
Al Walpin, 58 Northridge Drive. Speaking tonight as a member of the FAC liaison from the Finance Committee. Wanted to just spend a little bit of time going over some of the research that we've done on these tasks. Firstly, since I'm the first one talking about these, let me just say, for those that may not be familiar, the FAC, since its founding in the spring, has generated a large number of ideas, both the FAC as well as ideas that have come in from other people. Most of these ideas have been submitted to various people within the committee for further research. They're not necessarily the ideas of those people, but rather these are the people that have researched the ideas and have come up with the statistics or data and some draft recommendations. The committee then has discussed the item, and the committee, the FAC that is, has come up with recommendations.
Alan,